To the Hamsi Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Paulo Navarro. Today is Monday, June 25th, 2012. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline differential closed at negative 1,578. The Nasdaq advanced decline differential closed at negative 1,204. There was one new 52-week high for the S&P 500 and 20 new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. For the volatility, there were 260,000 contracts traded on the VIX today, with 46 million in total premiums paid. For the dollar-weighted put-call ratio, in July we saw a 0.58 reading with 44% of the total premiums paid. In August, we saw a 0.48 reading with 28% of the premiums paid. Both of these readings pretty neutral readings on the dollar-weighted put-call ratio today. Okay, here we have the daily chart for SPX here. You can see here that we broke the 0-sig line that we mentioned on Friday, that we wanted to see here some confirmation of a bounce higher or of a breaking of the 0-sig line here. You can see here we broke it, we closed below it. Now clearly we want to see a test of the 200-day moving average at 1296. We could call it 1300. Also, it's going to be an important number, so at 1300 is going to be pretty tight range there. We're going to see if we bounce it or we're going to go and test the lows of the year so far. For the daily action here on SPX, you can see here we opened on a gap lower, 12 handles lower, and then just dropped slowly throughout the day, finishing pretty much on a very tight range, but 21 handles lower. If we look at the SPY action, here we have the 30-minute chart for SPY. You could see here we were basically flat the whole day after the gap open and making a couple of new lows. On the daily chart, we're looking for some targets. We're looking at the 28.23, but again, as I mentioned, we want to break the 200-day moving average to the downside. We want to see a bounce or a break. You could see here on this chart, the 200-day moving average is right now on SPY at 29.80. So that's going to be our next target here, 29.80. Below that, the breaking of the 200-day moving average, we're looking for the 28.23s, and then we're looking for the 27s, the lows of the year. We're going to see if we're able to break that 27.14, which is the low so far. So those are the target. You can see here clearly on the CI, now on negative territory, pointing downwards. Here you can see it clearly on the CI dip, increasing to the downside, which is bearish here. So that's what we have so far, and again, the breaking of the 0.6 here was the confirmation of the trend that we're now heading downward. Okay, if we look here at GLD, here we have the daily chart. We were up for the day, which was good. We were up 0.8%. Still, we want to see a break of the 0-sig line to the upside. That will invalidate the short trade here at 155.35. That's the resistance for the 0-sig line on the downward pattern here. If we do a bounce back here from the 0-sig line lower, we would get the pattern that we talked about, a lower high here and an even lower high here. And then we would go to test the 148 level, which is the triple bottom so far. We're gonna see if it holds, but first we wanna bounce that back from the 0-sig line at the 155. So targets from here on the upside, 155 to invalidate the short-term trade on the downside, and then 150 and 148 would be there. If we do break the 148, we're looking for the 144 level. That's on the weekly chart. You could see here on the CI, it's on the negative territory, but basically flat here. You could see it on the CI diff, nothing here. Even with the bounce today, we're still flat, so we want to see more action confirming what's happening here with gold. On the VIX, here we have the daily chart for the VIX. The VIX was up 12.5% today. As we mentioned Friday, we want to see it going even higher and breaking the highs here we've made here, or if not, just scrolling higher below 20 level for some time here while the market goes higher, or maybe consolidates for some period. We're about 2038 right now, and we want to break the 2185 level to the upside. That's the 0-sig line here, or if not, we want to make a couple of new lows here with the around 18 to 16 target. That would be good. Here you could see the CI. We're on negative territory at here, but flat. You could see here this on the CI. Looks like we're looking at a lot of flat CIs here. Not much conviction of a move higher or lower. So we're basically looking at the 0.6 line for SPY, GLD, and the VIX. That's what we're looking here so far on the targets. Here we have the number of 52-week highs to 52-week lows on the S&P 500. You could see here pretty bearish, only one new 52-week high for the S&P 500, while we did 20 new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. So not positive on this chart here. We made a lot of 52-week highs here. That was the weekly chart, but it's the same on the daily. You could see here, same chart. So not good at all. This rise here, pretty fast rise above 50, and then pretty steep fall here. Now only one. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. Maybe we want to get more 52-week highs here, or an increase on the 52-week lows, maybe to find a bottom here. Here we have the McClellan oscillator now at 36. We have a pretty good pullback from this overbought level that we called last week at 240. So now we are at 36, pretty good. Now basically neutral here, not oversold or overbought, which is a good reading overall. We want to see a flush to the downside or an overbought level to get another direction here on the market. Okay, here we have the dance decline differential for the New York Stock Exchange. You can see here we were open here, drop lower while we were making lows in the morning, and pretty much after that the market stayed pretty range bound. You can see here, and then making a couple of new highs while the market bounced somewhat from the lows, but still pretty bearish readings here at negative 1500. So that what we got today here on the advanced decline differentials for the New York Stock Exchange. That was the last chart for the day. We have a special offer by TradeStation. Get your Hamstring Analytics proprietary indicators paid by TradeStation. Contact Active Traders office in Chicago, Peter Albino, at the number listed below. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.